Hi, welcome to Saoirse's Shelf. I'm finally getting started on this YouTube channel that I've been talking about for I don't even know how long, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to edit videos or really do anything like that. Hopefully I can figure out how to upload a video, but I figured now's the time. I should stop putting it off. So I just wanted to introduce you to my library. As you can see, I have a lot of books and, well, I have 2 cats. And they can't stand when I'm doing anything that they're not involved in. So, here. This is Springer. Oh, and now he's going to pretend he doesn't want to be part of it. So this is my library. I have over 500 books. I always try to count and then I just kind of give up on it because I can't be bothered, but maybe I should do that. I have a lot of young adult books because I started collecting when I was really young. And it's really an addiction, I guess you could say. I don't go to the library. Sorry, I love libraries, but I just need to own a book. I've always been like that. Always, for as long as I can remember, I have to own the book because if I like something, oh my goodness, I want to have it forever. So I've also started getting into collecting different editions of books that I like. Springer, choose a spot. So my favorite book of all time, which I will talk about in detail in another video, I'm sure, is Villette by Charlotte Bronte. You can see that, it's kind of a glare. And this was the first edition that I had, and it was the one that I read in college. And oh my goodness, come here. And then I started to get other ones. I liked how this one looked. I kind of love when they do the edges like that. Okay, clearly we're gonna have to figure out a different situation for these cats. She's not even interested. I have another edition, which is pretty old. It's always hard, especially with really, really old ones. They don't always put the date. Oh, this one actually does. It's not that old. 1962. But when you get really, really old ones, like very early 1900s or before that, sometimes I can't find the date in there, and that's frustrating because I love vintage books. It is one of my dreams to get a first edition set of Villette. And Villette was originally published in 3 volumes. They did that a lot back then. I don't really know why. I'm interested to know. If you know, tell me. So anyway, that's my favorite. And I collect multiple editions of a few different books, mostly the Brontes. You are really interrupting, aren't you? So, anyway, I recently set up my books in here. They haven't always been in here. They move around with me all the time. But I've never had a place where I can set up all of them in one spot because there's so many hundreds of them. And finally, with these built-in shelves, I'm able to do that. And to see them all set up, you know, including the ones I read when I was really, really young to the ones that I'm reading now, it was pretty exciting. Yeah. Oh, okay. First time making a video. It's going great. It's going really great. So I plan to do videos about current reads, and I want to do like reviews. I want to do, I don't know, more than just reviews. I want to talk about, you know, more in depth. Like, I went to school for, I should have said this, I went to school for English. I have a bachelor's degree in English with a concentration in literature and cultural studies from the University of South Florida. I originally started as a French major and changed to a writing major. And then when I realized all these credits, they really worked for each major, I changed to a literature major because the whole professional writing thing was not for me. I decided that my first love, my real love, is reading. So I should have just been true to myself from the start, but there's no problem with changing your major, especially if your credits can count for either major. That's awesome. Then you really luck out. So when I realized that I was taking, like, all my electives were Shakespeare and other literature classes, and they weren't, professional writing classes, I realized that I should not have been a writing major. That being said, I love creative writing. I have written 2 fiction novels, I've written 1 travel memoir, and I'm working on my 2nd memoir. And I will talk about that in another video, I'm sure. Does she want to come up? Psst. Should we meet the other cat? Come on. Here she is. She'll come say hi. There's Caddy. Katahdin, Caddy for short. My little girl. I'm sure they'll interrupt a lot. So in my library, which I'm very lucky to have, and I'll do like a library tour video, I have my writing desk, which I'm sitting at now. It's actually my grandmother's old desk. It's really nice. And, alright. I have an old reading chair that I got at a vintage place, and a reading lamp from IKEA. What else? Lots and lots of books. You don't really need much else in a home library. You just need a good place to display these treasures. And I like it. It's a little bit crazy for me because they're not all stacked the same way. Because of the way that the shelves were made, they weren't made for books. I can't make them like orderly, so they're a little out of control, but there is a system here. I know which shelves are the books that I haven't read yet, and let me tell you, there's a lot of books here that I haven't read yet because I have a serious problem, and every year I tell myself I'm not going to buy any more books until I read all the books that I haven't read yet on my shelf. And then I go to the bookstore and I buy like 3 more books, and that just happens every month. So it's kind of out of control, and especially because there's a lot of books up there that are young adult that I never read when I was in that target reading age, and should I go back and read them? Tell me. I know a lot of people that are my age. I'm in my mid-20s, 24. A lot of people my age like to read young adult books. They still read them all the time. A lot of people only read young adult books, which I don't understand, but because there's so much out there. But what do you think? Should I go back and should I read all those ones that I bought when I was 15 and never read? I probably will, eventually. I'll be 90 by the time I finish everything on my shelf, and I keep making reading lists. Like, I just bought 18 books on Amazon because I had a gift card, and I decided why not just spend it all on books. I couldn't think of anything else I needed. So I keep doing that, making these lists, and then I think, oh no, what if I finish reading everything on my list? Then I'll have no more books to read in the world. And then I remember, oh right, I'll be dead before I can read everything in the world that I want to read. So there's really nothing to worry about there. There will always be more books. And the great thing about reading is that I completely forget everything that I read pretty soon after I read it. So if I were to pick up any one of these books that I've read, it would be pretty new to me. It also kind of makes me feel a little bit like it's pointless. Why am I doing all this reading if I'm just going to forget it right away? Because I'm a person that has a really hard time living in the moment, and I've only started to recently think about how reading it's an in-the-moment practice. You really have to be right there with the page, with that specific word in that sentence at that moment. And I have this thing where I have to go back over the same sentence over and over, make sure that I read it correctly. And some people, like my mom, they can skim whole books, and they don't have any trouble with that, but I really have to make sure I get every word in there. And it means I'm not like the fastest reader ever, I just spend a lot of time reading. But so I think I'm getting better about accepting that, though I do forget everything, it's okay, because reading is about enjoying it in the moment. as you're taking in the words. And while I read, I like to tab things that stand out to me. I really do it. At this point, this was for college, so I was highlighting. But I don't highlight or write in books normally. I will put tabs in them for any quote that I like that I want to remember. And yeah, I keep my books in very good condition, except for the ones that are like secondhand. I bought them, if they were already messed up, I bought them that way. But anybody can tell you that I don't let anybody borrow my books. If somebody wants to touch one, they gotta be careful and just open it a little bit. Don't break the spine. And I can't believe I used to dog-ear books because that is such a crime to me now. But I'll never do that again. I have enough bookmarks. So yeah, they're all in pristine condition. I always check every copy at the bookstore to make sure that I'm getting the best one. Because if you're going to spend $15, $16 on a book, don't you want to get the nicest copy? Doesn't make sense to me. If they're even selling ones that are messed up at Barnes & Noble, you know? Should at least give you a discount on that. So maybe I can show you this. This is my basket of things that I'm going to read next. So I like to plan for the month. This year, as I said I was going to do this last year too, but I didn't. But I like to say I'm going to read one classic, one nonfiction, one fiction, and one free choice. So what did I read this month? I did my fiction. I started with a fiction book this month, and then I did a classic. Now I'm on a memoir. Oh, I must have read something else, didn't I? Yes, I read a nonfiction book too. So for next month, though, I've got my classic and memoir. Got a fiction, and then this is, I guess you could say memoir, but also think of it as nonfiction. I love Bill Bryson. I love travel writing, so that's a lot of what I do, travel writing. And it would be the dream to make money from travel writing. We'll see about that. If I ever actually do anything with the books that I've written. Everyone keeps telling me to just self-publish, but yeah, I just keep sitting around not doing it. Anyway, I will come up with something to talk about for the next video. Maybe I'll do my current read or what I've just finished. Or you guys can let me know if there's anything that you want to see in a video. I mean, I have hundreds of books. If you want to talk about a specific one, chances are I have it. Any kind of topics you want to get into. I love analyzing literature. I love talking about the themes, the metaphors, all that good stuff. I really miss that about school. Just getting to sit down in a classroom of people that have all read the same book and just dive into it. My mom hates that, analyzing literature, but that's what I'm all about. I want to pick apart every sentence and talk about it all. So anything you guys want to hear about, let me know, and I will have to figure out what to do with these cats so that they stop getting right in front of me. Alright, wish me luck getting this video up. I have no idea what I'm doing. Thank you for watching. See you next time.